Tosedai, Ni Hao, Konnichiwa, Ciao, what's up, what's happening, peace. It's your brother from another mother, from the Deuce clan of the Calithian land, aka El Amaru Bay, BKA Cali. My son turned 18 yesterday. My oldest set of children are, according to the colonial age requirements, adults. And I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed about the product his mother and I have produced. I believe that my son has been sabotaged because I used to say, watch how my children are going to turn out. Watch the results that I produce from my children. Because she had children prior to our marriage, and upon us separating, my children were 7 and 5 or 5 and 3. I believe they were 5 and 3. So it's been years of going back and forth to court, custody, payment amounts. It's been ridiculous. It has been ridiculous. And I feel for my children. My daughter actually produced a video from My View Productions called The Letter. And I advise fathers, mothers, and children to go and check it out. Because it truly was a heart-purging production. On how the effects of divorce and separation affect the children. What I say is an admonition to women and men. It is perceived that men do not want to be a part of their children's life. It is known that men sometimes outgrow their marriage or their relationship, and women do too. Right now, what I'm addressing is the children and not having their father in their life. We've seen the results of communities absent of the male figure, of the father. And it's devastating. I have my 10-year-old son riding next to me. We're on the way to Eid al-Fitr to make Eid prayer, which is the conclusion of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. And my wife wife can't deal with my 10-year-old son. She can't even deal with the 6-year-olds because of their masculinity. A woman is not designed to deal with a man. Not in a manner that a man needs to be dealt with. That's the reason why they have fathers. The negative and the positive. The balance. The ma'at. The colonial, the Gentile, believes that they can create a world absent of ma'at. And like every other example, theory, and project that they have conspired in a laboratory or behind closed doors in secret, the Americans, those copper-toned races found here by the Europeans upon their arrival, us, we are the example that you cannot create a world without order, without ma'at, without divine order, without natural order. So the result of broken communities, of broken families with no father, we have an over representation of boys and now women incarcerated in juvenile group homes, boot camps, prisons, filling the graves, drugs. Now in the rare, my 10-year-old son has been in school, in public school. We homeschooled him till probably till he was 5 years old. So for half of his life he's been in public school. And since he entered the public school, it's been a battle. They've been trying to label him and everything else under the sun. And it's even come down at times to them pulling his mother to the side and saying who has custody of him, so they can attempt to get her, to coerce her to make a decision to go ahead and allow him to be labeled or put in special ed or exceptional ed or whatever they call it. One thing that I want to make you aware of this morning is just like any other label, it expires. And it's time for the labels that they have placed upon us to expire. He's labeled autistic. You know, with overwhelming slave-minded people surrounding you, the slave-minded and the colonial-minded people surrounding you, that you're Negro, black, and color, that you're Christian. Not knocking any Christian. Not saying that a Muslim is better than a Christian. I just explained to my son that it is incumbent upon us to seek and search out truth to find out who we are, our place in this world, and our purpose. Because Because everybody that claims to be your friend and has good advice for you is not and does not. But it's time for us to abandon these labels, to allow them to expire. And we've seen the result of communities and homes with no father. If you remove a father or a man, then you can put the identity of the concept of a man in the place of a man. Of the man that's supposed to be in the home, the Khalifa, the Emir, the Imam, the president. And melanated and Moorish and American experience and example. They place the government in the place where the man is supposed to be. They place the concept of Jesus in the place where the man is supposed to be. And none of these substitutes have been beneficial for us. All we gotta do is look around. Look from the 70s, the 60s, the 40s. We had land ownership, home ownership. We had community. We had fathers in the home. When they removed the fathers from the home, they remove the inertia, the tenacity, the revolution. And now we have a bunch of soft boys that can't determine their God-given gender. Because all they know is the example that they've been shown. And the example that they've been shown is their mother. Time for these labels to expire. It's time for the labels to expire. Now, we've had a couple of examples of what can happen when your father is rearing you and mentoring you as it should be. Look at Tiger Woods. Look at the Williams sisters, Serena and Venus Williams. Look at Michael Jackson. Look at Beyonce. Look at the Ball brothers. Have a lot of examples in scarcity or that is not really promoted. In the way it could be promoted. Because every successful example of a man rearing his family or being a great example is equivalent to a slave getting away. And if you believe that you are not under colonialism any longer, then you're sadly mistaken. The 13th Amendment didn't abolish slavery. It transferred ownership from the private sector to the government sector. That's the reason why the government paid the slave owners reparations for the loss of their property, 3/5 of a man. Ignorance is no excuse of the law. And it's incumbent upon you to be abreast on the law. So, mothers and women, if whatever the circumstances have separated from their significant other, their spouse, the father of their children, if you have ever bought a lottery ticket, we know that y'all spending money on them nails and weaves and, you know, beautification things. Or if you buy alcohol or marijuana, I mean drugs, whatever your drug of choice, your vice is, or if you bought it for somebody else, or if you give money to a needy person on the corner of a street, surely and certainly you can make that investment or take that sacrifice and overtly contribute to get your children to their father, to be with their father. Because the results are like water on a dehydrated plant in the Mojave Desert. The results are like feet kicked up on a bed elevated after you've been on them for 18 hours. Working, hard work. The results are priceless. My ex tried everything from Muslim brother this, Imam brother that, government facility this, step daddy that. No supplement can take the place of the one who was made to be in the place. My door was never shut. I like to believe that my experience and testimony is the more popular experience that men want to be in their children's life, and that there are circumstances that prevent us from being in our children's life, like a spiteful or a scornful woman, or a woman that wants a child support check, or a woman that needs to keep a certain number of people in the home to keep the Section 8 voucher legitimate. And either way it go, similar to the Malcolm X situation, rest in peace Malik Shabazz, you have infiltration or antagonization. Some people could say that the nation killed Malcolm, but for those that know, they had agitation from outside sources that one that cut and conquer, that comes to cause division. So this is agitation from outside sources, because when you break up a home, when you break up the foundation, you break up the structure, you break up the soundness, and a house divided cannot stand. These are real jewels, and they should be used. Take that sacrifice. You've tried all the rest, now try the best, which is what divine nature has ordained to shepherd or to rear or raise your children, the Father. So brothers and sisters, please take this as love. It's an admonition and guidance. to myself as well as to anybody that can listen, that can take benefit from it. Anything that I said that may offend or anything negative from it is from me, and I apologize, and hopefully the positive outweighs the negative. Please like and share my videos. Salut, Lehigh, au revoir, assalamu alaikum.